back for the first time, and when I'm rolling with the Alpine.
This is a live broadcast.
You kinda like Batman and Robin. Ready for a beat, so I must I said, hey, have a nice day.
This is radio station 2K.G on your radio dial, and we are here live with the Dirty OGs. This record here is Cocaine featuring the Dirty OGs. Right.
There's no place like home, where the gangsters roam and roll no chrome. It's that Californian classic. We keep it hood, just like a real nigga should. I wish you would. That
Cocaine is special. This a toast from the boogie. Gangsta don't dance, little gang bang rookie. I get it from the truth in the booth like Tookie. I'm so California on you, blowing on that ganja. And we sipping with them T-tops. All black, everything in my eye rock. I got that stupid, get high in the mean coat, baby, here, hoop this. So gangsta, the homies gon' loop this. Killer, Cali, do it easy, we ruthless. The chill got him on the steering wheel, skipping past the palm trees, 90 degrees and something classic. And me and Coca keep it lit, we ain't tripping off shit, they can suck my dick, cause this classic coming straight from the left side, west side, best side, fired up.
There's no place like home, where the gangsters roam and roll no chrome. That Californian classic. We keep it hood, just like a real nigga should. I wish you would. That California classic.
Oh shit, somebody call a coroner. There was a murder last night on the corner. Point blank range, now cuz it's a corner. That's how it is on the west side of Pomona. It's the rider named Weeze in the California breeze. On a mission checking props cause I gotta get cheese. With the Dirty OGs posted up at the hangout. Rag tray front and back is what they made me bring out. If gunshots ring out, we the ones that's doing it. Ain't no motherfucking way the street punks is ruining it. I'ma keep it gangster like these other niggas couldn't. And ride for the west when these other niggas wouldn't.
C.A. we stay doing it the G-way, dipping in the tree state, swerving while the beat play, fresh new fitted, the Jews on glisten, stashed by pistols till the food come tripping, not bad bitches, clock fat chippers, keep something sticky twisted up in my swisher, the sweet life, street life, straight from the east side, started from a G-ride, now I take G-flights, born gangster, hustling and banging, state mandate that the buses get mangled, busting new gators and fucking off paper, building with real niggas ducking all hell.
There's no place like home, where the gangsters roam and roll no chrome. That Californian classic. We keep it hood, just like a real nigga should. I wish you would. That California classic.
Dangerous. The house will make a nigga that's loud as a thunderstorm, quiet as church mouses. Two to the motherfucking chin, get it in. Half of the party is rolled up before it ends. Classic. 1980 fin. Tend to get in. Domino motherfucker. She'll drop her drawers. We'll drop his jaws. Ass whoopings artwork like painted walls, nigga. The fireworks. Busting in the alley checking ironworks. This is just the childhood of a hood nigga. All grown up, real, still good nigga. Now I got $20,000 suits. Looking at these niggas like what it do. Maybe I should slap the shit out of you. You and your own boy too. Where you from, nigga?
California. We finna put in work, check traps and make snaps. Nigga wanna know what that These-Ang hitting for, Coca? Check it. Tell them the Dirty OGs got that duffel bag. And we G's move. Lee sent me knees on the he's on These-Ang and Z's on These-Ang. Reside knees down. And I'ma lace some chucks with the quickness. It's nothing. California style.
It's your boy, man, D-Dope, man. Live and direct, man, right here, man, from South Central Los Angeles, man, a.k.a. Eastside Watts, man. And I'm right here with my boy G-Lew, man, on the G-Lew show, man. Much love, homie. Keep it popping, man. Keep it lifting, man. Keep killing them.
All right, welcome to the G-Lew show. Flashback Fridays. I am G-Lew.
I have my special, first and foremost, my co-host, the lovely Miss Queen Jean, with us as well. Good evening, Queen Jean. What's happening with you?
Good evening, G. Excuse me. Good evening, G-Lew. How are you?
All righty. Let me clear my throat. We are back once again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm G-Lew. That's Queen Jean. Queen, tell them what we got going on tonight.
Tonight we have a legendary, fabulous, amazing guest, Chuck Johnson from Oakland, the Bay Area, from Soul Beat TV. I'm excited to hear about his many facets that he has going on. And I mean, he has a lot going on. He had a lot going on. He got a lot going on. So I'm just excited to learn more. Yeah, I'm just excited to learn so much more about him and of him. So that's what we got going on for the beautiful audience this evening. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show.
Also, Queen, if you would be so kind to give a shout out to our sponsors before we get started as well. Show them some love.
Giving thanks to our sponsors, BTP Media Group, 93 Tweed FM, Westside Car Club, OG Music, Dee Harrison, and Mama Boo Boo. Did I miss
Mama
anyone?
Boo Boo.
Mama Boo Boo.
Jackie Ray Phillips,
yes.
Poetry of Justice.
Oh, and yes, Miss Jackie Ray Phillips from Poetry of Justice. She also has a show on tonight, The Critique.
Uh-oh.
That's happening tonight right
I
now
heard
as we speak.
I heard she interviewing somebody legendary. I heard about it. I ain't going to say nothing, no, but she's supposed to be interviewing somebody tonight, real special to the show. So, you got to get a chance to check that out. Yeah, shout out to Jackie Ray over there, Critique Show. You dig? But I'm G-Lew, that's Queen Jean, and without any further ado, let's bring in our special guest, the legendary Charles Johnson, out of Oakland, California, the Bay area. Good evening, sir.
What's good?
What's
How you doing?
All right, I'm just kicking back on a Friday. What's up with you?
That's right, same here. Friday night, man. What else to do, man? But kick it right here and talk to the world.
Hey,
homie.
Man,
so
we
glad to have you
here in the Bay. We on lockdown. You know what I mean? But
that's
we
everywhere,
still gonna
bro.
have a good time. Yeah,
that's everywhere, man. But hey, it is what it is. We gonna keep it moving, and it's a beautiful thing. We could be on lockdown tonight and have this show. You know what I mean? Since everybody's on lockdown, they need to be tuned into this show right here, where they can get the history and the knowledge. You know what I mean? Of Soul Beat TV, the legendary Chuck Johnson, rest in peace, man. Just the whole get down, man. So without any further ado, why don't you introduce yourself to the people, man? Tell them what we got going on tonight, bro.
Man, my name is Chuck Johnson. I'm just a real true hip hop head. I'm a part of a very important legacy here in the Bay Area, or even just all over the country, which is Soul Beat Television. It was a 25-year ran black-owned network. Ran for 24 hours a day, and whether it was politics, whether it was sports, whether it was the streets, Soul Beat was at the middle of it. And bottom line is, I initially started out just like anybody else, just used to watch TV and just trip off of it, because on one level, it was us, and then on the other level, at times, it had its different quirks. It would sometimes look homegrown and kind of just laid back, but it was ours, and so we embraced it every day. And then I had my own chance, Faith, to meet the actual owner, and rest was kind of history. I started doing an internship there for about a year. I learned how to edit commercials and learned how to sell advertisement, and eventually I learned how to do what's called master control operating, which was switching program to commercials. And then, Mr. Johnson realized I had my interest, which was hip-hop. And so he said, well, it's time for you to do a 2-hour live TV show on hip-hop. And so, it was a cold ride, because, I was my own program director. I had to come up with my own questions. I had to do all my own research. And, I just had to jump in that water and live some shit that I really loved, which was hip-hop. So, bottom line is, 25 years later, man, it's not a month that goes by that somebody don't come past me and ask me about that experience. And so what I told myself I'm going to do this year, because 2020 is a very unique year, I have like 30 hours of footage of which I was on Soul Beat. So I'm going to edit it down into like a series. And so the series is basically going to show just some of the artists that I interviewed, y'all. If you don't know, some of the artists was the Goody Mob. Y'all know about the Goody Mob in the South.
Yeah, we got
there,
that picture posted
up. The East Coast, down South vibe over there in North Carolina. Then, we got...
bullshit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. To Mystical, to the Fugees, to Jay-Z, to Mac 10, to Jay-Z, to you. I think you get an idea where I'm going with this,
Right, man. This was extraordinary, man, and legendary because, like you said, when you took the show over, or at least took it to the hip hop format, that was a first. I'm sure, definitely for the Bay Area and really abroad. Just it was locally, so people didn't know, but that was definitely a first. So it's a cold history with that. First, before I continue, I want to ask you: is there any relation with you and the founder, because you guys got like the same name? Can you speak on that?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, right? Again, to this day, people ask me that, and the answer real fast is no. No, he was not my father. But the crazy part is while I was there for like this whatever 10-year run, we did build obviously a crazy relationship because we had the same name. And then once he even started having to pay me from being an intern, one day I had to go in there and sign my W-2 form and whatever to become an employee. And bottom line is we had the same middle name. My middle name is Edward. His name is Charles Edward Johnson. Mine is Charles Edward Johnson.
Wow.
And so it was kind of different after that. You know what I mean? It was just different. He really, no bullshit. I don't know if I can cuss or whatever, but no
you can
BS.
say what you want.
He just took an interest into me because I was very serious about learning the craft, but then more importantly, we had the very same name. So, we just had a very meaningful relationship. I ain't trying to, hype it, but we really just had a very engaging relationship because he knew I understood the hip-hop culture, and then he also knew I wanted to learn about the TV business, not just to be on camera. I really wanted to learn the business. And so it was just It was just a unique relationship that was shaping into, you never know, one day I may be an actual exec with Soul Beat. You know what I mean?
You know what? I'm sorry, G-Lew, but just to piggyback off of that, that's a whole spiritual thing. That right there is a whole spiritual thing. To have met him and to have the exact same name, that was no mistake. That's actually God's plan, and to be where you are with it now. So that's all spiritual. That's how I see it anyway. That's spiritual.
I agree. Hey Charles, tell us, man, because this is just so much with this history of this Soul Beat television, man. Tell us the significance and what that meant. I'm sure it was even before before you took over and did your thing with it, but the significance of what it had and meant to the Bay to have, a locally ran TV show based on music. And I'm sure, because I even went back and looked at some of the old clips and things on online, and it not only was good for the community and all, but it showed love to the community. Local commercials, people in the community could, what's the word I'm looking for? Could promote their things through that station.
Yeah.
Tell us the significance of having that station and what it meant to the Bay back then.
The first word come to my mind is vital. Because you just said it. It's a certain kind of magic that's created when you allow somebody to promote their own product or service. We was able to, again, and we talking, so for me, again, I appreciate that. I like being a historian and remembering our culture like this, as long as, the youngsters want to pull up a chair and listen. So the point is that you got to take it back to when it was. It was the 80s, it was the 90s, when blacks were more, I guess you can say, more affluent at the time and owning their own businesses in their own cities. And so Oakland just so happened to be at that time more of a chocolate city than it is now. I don't know what gentrification it did to North Carolina yet or not, but that's another story. Right?
I ain't in North Carolina. That's Queen is in North Carolina, not me.
Yeah, I'm in North Carolina.
But it's all good, bro.
He's in the ATL.
Oh, you in the ATL, bro? So yeah,
I'm
you
in
know
the
you've
ATL.
been impacted by it too, that gentrification. But anyway, the
Oh,
point
yeah,
was
but we both from LA though. We both from California, but
Yeah,
we,
we
you know,
both
we
Cali.
reside where we reside. But go ahead, bro.
Okay. I got y'all. Okay. So the play is that I was just explaining that back then, you know, we still own the mechanic shops. We still own, you know, the car insurance. We still own the clothes cleaners. You know what I'm saying? We still was like locally owning businesses. And then here comes Chuck Johnson with this Soulbeat entity. Now that you can basically become a local, you know, celebrity because you on TV promoting your own product. And so that was just a very unique way to not only attract people to want to do business with Soulbeat, but it also allowed people like what I'm about to do, which is we can go back in time and look at our parents when they was running companies and basically show that example when black folks was doing their thing. And basically Soulbeat had a lot to do with being able to promote. And so that was just the local businesses. Then you turn around and think about the actual music industry and the local acts who got a chance to come on Soulbeat versus the, you know, national acts that whenever they came to the San Francisco Bay Area, when they stops had to be Soulbeat.
Right.
You know? So
right.
bottom line is it was locally accepted, nationally respected. You feel me?
Right. And it was really, like you said, locally accepted, nationally, whatever, but it was really like its own Oakland Bay Area BET, like Video Soul, all of that. When I look at the old clips and, you know, the history of that show, that's what it reminds me of. So at that time, I'm sure we had BET, but you had Soulbeat TV. You know what I mean? So what was the thing with that? You know what I mean? I'm sure you had both stations, but a lot of people didn't know you had Soulbeat. I didn't even know that, you know, being in LA, but I'm sure that was a local thing. But again, the significance of having that, because even when cats came to the Bay, that's where they went. I'm seeing so many legendary interviews, and then you even spoke on interviews you had, but I've seen cats like Eazy-E speaking on the anniversary of his passing, but Eazy-E had a cold interview on there. I'm going to play a clip from that later. But so many artists, you know, touched down with Soulbeat, so it was definitely a fixture in that community, and the artists knew that as well. Can you speak on that?
And you know what?
Go ahead.
And you know what else? BET's founder's last name was Johnson as well. Isn't that something?
Oh, yeah, it was. Yep.
Yeah, so again, beyond actually being a talent on there or a producer on there, I actually, again, like you said, I studied it even before I got there. And bottom line is absolutely, we love that we have what we have in Soulbeat. And for me, once I got there, to be honest, one of my biggest aspirations was to take Soulbeat to a national level and basically be that representation on the West Coast to equivalency of BET. So that was my vibe. And, you know, even with Chuck, you know, he was obviously, you know, aware of the other, you know, Robert Johnson and how he got his start actually in D.C., where he basically had a Soulbeat on the East Coast, and it was based in D.C. Then, you know, different business moves, he eventually got, you know, national status. But, you know, the point is that at the end of the day, Chuck made a stance a long time ago, I think, whether he was going to go local or national, that he was going to stay independent, black owned. And for the good or the bad of that train of thought, you know, we still have a legacy, but it's sometimes I used to wonder what would be the possibilities of how far it would have went if he would have took a deal like Viacom, you know, BET took with Viacom. Because, you know, Chuck had opportunities to even possibly, you know, have meetings with Viacom to, you know, maybe have it taken over. And, you know, maybe he didn't want to do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just a very unique story, man. Go ahead. No, I'm done.
Well, I was going to say the same thing with Robert Johnson, owner of BET. I was really upset, as so many people were, but again, I can't, you know, you can't determine a man's what he wants to do, you know, because he sold it. I'm sure he made a lot of money. But, you know, I was mad, as a lot of people were, when he sold BET, because you see what happened to BET since. You know what I mean? It just never was the same. You know what I mean? And just like you said, the things we could have done, you know, staying black owned and, you know, keeping that legacy going as BET. I don't know the situation with Soulbeat, but, you know, that's what I felt about BET. But go ahead, bro.
But watch this. I don't mean to interrupt you, but watch this, bro. I give you the other angle. You know, because again, I studied that shit. You know, bottom line is Bob Johnson got to a point in space for whatever reason where he owed some real money to the game. Like it might have been like maybe $70 million or something that he owed to the game, so to speak. And he may have went to some of these black bosses and said, "Hey, you know, if you put in 20 million, if you put in 20 million, and you put in 20 million, and you put in 20 million, because we got some bosses out there that got 20 million to do business with. You feel me? And you know." They maybe didn't just want to go with his terms, or they just didn't want to do it his way, and so he did what a businessman was supposed to do and try to at least get something out of what he built. And so, you know, I mean, that's just one perspective. You know, if it went all the way the other way around, that he just straightly just appropriated the brand and just said, "The hell with it," you know, I'm about to let it go where it's gonna go. He might have did that too. I'm not trying to, you know. I'm just trying to give the perspective of maybe a business exec.
Right. Exactly. I can't count what he wanted to do. It was just upsetting to us. Because, you know, BET was just what it was. And as you see and everybody else sees what happened after, you know, with BET, it just went totally commercial and, you know, what it is to this day, you know. But it's all good. I want to ask you, Charles, like once you started your format, the hip-hop format, what would you say was your breakthrough broadcast that really, you know, changed the game for you and let you know that, okay, now I got something, I'm here? Like, was it a certain guest artist that came, blessed the show, or just something that you know what I mean, that stamped you and just took you to that next level of being on that show and making you feel comfortable that you made it?
Good question, bro. I think the moment that I knew it was something different going on, where I realized that I wasn't kind of just the homie around the corner putting together something, and it actually became a bona fide entity, was I think when I did an interview with LL Cool J.
Okay, and, wow.
Because at that moment in time, it was what it was. It was in the middle of like the East and West Coast feud or whatever, and I wanted to. I put it like this. I didn't know everything to know about New York at that time, but what I did want New York to know is that we had a certain flyness that we had, you know, on the West Coast, and I think I just wanted him to also know that it was authenticity there, that I was really a hip hop entity more than just quote unquote Bay Area, LA,
West Coast
dude. I wanted him to show I had some dexterity with my love for hip hop, that I can fuck with the South, I can fuck with the East Coast, West, just as long as you dope. That was my philosophy in a time when it wasn't like that for everybody. People was kind of picking sides and saying, this is the side I'm on. And, you know, to keep it real, I went through challenges with my TV show, because at times I would play East Coast, and I'm straight from East Oakland, California. So, you know, at the barbershops and at the next party, you know, I was hearing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you doing? You playing too much East Coast. But back to your point, you know, I think the LL one was dope because it was pre-recorded, and then it was also it is what it is. You'll see it on my documentary. It was a part where I had to go live and talk to the people, and they would call in and basically make requests for music, or they'll ask questions about the interview. And, you know, and to keep it real, the other thing about Soul Beat is that we didn't have no filter. It wasn't no FCC rulings. Like, people would basically cuss you out, and you would just have to hurry up and cut it off. So people knew that, and so they would call in with real passionate conversation. And bottom line is my show went for 2 hours normally, and I was at my last 2 minutes of that show with LL Cool J, and I got a call from Chuck Johnson, the owner. And he was like, hey, man, you're not going off the air yet. Go another hour. And so I was like, okay. My show went from 2 hours to 3 hours tonight. You know what I'm saying? So it was just the point that it was such keep it real, me and LL had a very tense moment at times in the interview. And, you know, the people that was calling in, it was pretty tense. So it was just a very serious moment that I think I broke through as a journalist. I think I broke through as a person who was identifying that I'm not just East Oakland, but I'm really hip hop.
Right. Let me ask you too, since you spoke on that LL breakthrough interview. How was that for you? You know, you said it was tense at times, but how was that for you as a interviewer? And you know, you're interviewing LL Cool J. I'm sure, like me, LL was, you know, at one time. We're not talking '95 East Coast, West Coast, but 10 years prior, LL was the man. You know, and everybody loved LL, including me. He was the man. You know, how was that interview for you? Being that type of interview, were you nervous or did you handle it? Like, how did you get through that breakthrough interview, and how did you feel that you did after?
Again, this is a reflection 25 years later, so I can let it be real at this point. But again, man, just imagine I was like 19 to 20 years old, man, and I had a 2-hour hip hop TV show, so I had just a different level of responsibility that I was living in at 20 years old. So the point was, you know, I had to take a shot. To be real with you, I took a shot. It was just a moment where I was very tense. Because again, I just hate that I knew that I had to go up against the wall with an artist that I've been, you know, listening to all my life and respecting him and his craft. But then I had to ask sometimes those unfortunate questions or deal with a unfortunate subject matter that is going to cause maybe disagreements. Because at that time, you got to remember that LL Cool J was, you know, world known and had a bigger palette of how he thought about the culture at the time. You know, he already had success in Oakland. He already had success in L.A. So he wasn't exactly being touched by this new fuge stuff. You know what I'm saying? He was already mainstream, whereas everybody else was still trying to find their identity. Go ahead.
But at that time, LL took a different turn. I know he was, you know, trying to reinvent himself, and he mixed up and did some things. He even had a little slight thing with Pac, but he made that song, what was it, the Who Shot You remix or something. So LL was catching quite a bit of flack from the West as well, I'm sure, at that time. And maybe those were the tense moments you were speaking on, or can you speak on that?
Or keep it real, this was a little bit, so Who Shot You came out in about like 96, something like this. When I did the interview with him, it was like 95, I think, something like that, or it was like later on that year or some shit like that. Because keep it real, when I went to New York, this was during, I went to the Million Man March in 1995. And so, bottom line is I went to the Million Man March, and then that was in Washington, and then we drove up to New York. And so, long story short, I had an incident in New York with me being a West Coast guy, right? And then it's crazy. 2 weeks later was the interview with LL Cool J. So I was fresh out of New York, getting my first New York experience as a dude, as a person, and as a hip hop show host. Now I'm bringing that same energy that I just got from New York back to the West Coast to talk to this East Coast dude on the West Coast. So it was just a cold dynamic that I was there having this conversation about how I really had a bad, unfortunate experience with the East-West Coast thing when I was out there. And so I was talking to LL about it, and he was like, oh, young shit ain't that bad. And I was like, nah, it was that real when I was out there. But, I ain't holding it against nobody, but it was real, LL. And I need to know that you from the East Coast can kind of understand kind of the narrative and how we seeing this thing happening, you know? So it was just dope that eventually we got to know each other in a matter of, 20 minutes in a real fast way to realize that we both love hip hop at the same level, literally, and we ain't looking to push the feud. I was more or less trying to identify with it. So it was just, again, it was just something that I think like I said, I know it's time right now this year to let that interview go, because crazy enough, it's been 25 years and I have, again, footage of him to Goody Mob to LL Cool J that it just ain't never been seen since that time period, and so I kind of just feel like this new age is hungry for this shit. Like they love the 90s culture, which is crazy. It's kind of like I thought it was just kind of us old heads that remember the All Eyes on Me days and the Tribe Called Quest days. But now these youngsters, they love our culture just as much as we loved it back then. And so this is it is what it is. My show has a lot to do with that culture. I really took time and dedicated myself to figuring out playlists to play music that I knew that they would be inspired by or that they wanted to hear.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Dope, man. Talk about some of the, and also, speaking of Goody Mob, everybody, if you look at the flyer for the show, that's a Goody Mob with Chuck on there. I'm sure when that was the interview took place, so you could take a look at that picture if you don't know who that is. But tell us some more classic interviews or interviews that really you enjoyed and that are real memorable to you that you had on that show or that experience.
Again, some of the footage I'll be showing is certain artists that I know even from this Bay Area that I think are unsung, that I think because maybe they didn't make it as far as they can go, you couldn't really see what their talent was about. Like this dude, it's these dudes. They are known as the Bad Influence Clique, and one of the artists out in the Bad Influence Clique is Rappin' Ron. You know about them, bro? Are you from LA?
Used to be with Short. Yeah, I know about Bad Influence, man. Rappin' Ron.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Was hard.
Yes, sir. Talk to me.
Yeah, come on now.
Yeah. So the play is that Rappin' Ron was one of the most talented dudes that was on the rise in the town, and bottom line is he passed, unfortunately at a very young age, man. I think he was in like a car crash or something of that nature. And bottom line is I got footage of me interviewing those guys that, again, I got to let that shit go before we all go, you know what I mean? And I just want to, with some of the songs that's still left on YouTube, where I'll find some of the boys over at the record label he was with, which was Cell Block Records. I want to, just give him his flowers, man. I just want to be a part of that bridge that introduced the youngsters to these old school artists.
Right. Bad Influence never really got their proper due, man. We heard them on big songs with Short and did a lot, and I know they had a lot of controversy as well with some artists from the Bay. We had some people on here who spoke about that, Pooh, and some more things, but they never got their just due as artists. Really, because they was hella dope, man. Especially back then, and I heard that he was really a cold freestyler, and it was just dope all around the town. So I know he never, at Bad Influence, never got their proper due, and I guess that's because the homie passed away. But that's a good thing that you're doing, to put that out there.
Now, him to, like I said, I admit I wish I would have had my first day, which was the craziest day ever to have, as to maybe interview people. But I think one of my first days of interviewing, I had to interview the Fugees. This young lady named Simple E. She used to have a song back in the day called "Play My Funk," and I think I did the Coop with Boots Riley and rest in peace DJ Pam the Funkstress. And so it was just a crazy day that I had to interview Lauryn Hill and Prize and Wyclef and didn't know who they was gonna become, but I kind of knew that they was talented. I just didn't know that they was gonna fucking make the score. You know what I'm saying? That album. So it was just dope to just see them in their beginning stages. It was dope to see Jay-Z in his beginning stage, and knowing that I knew he was talented, but I didn't know he was just gonna take it out of here. You know what I'm saying?
How was that interview with Jay-Z, early Jay-Z years, and before because 95, he was just on the rise, but Big hadn't died yet. He hadn't took off, but everybody knew who knew. Like you said, if you were a fan of hip hop, like me when I heard Jay, not his earlier stuff so much, but that Reasonable Doubt was definitely my favorite by him. But how was that experience with Jay early on? Like you said, seeing an early Jay-Z and interviewing him.
I mean, again, you now we see him and we see all the layers and evolutions in his development. But back then, it was still like he was a hustler and an independent businessman and a boss. But you can tell he was getting his footing when it came to his hip hop career. And so the biggest thing that I peeped was that they sent me a bio about him about a week before I had to do the interview. And I was reading the bio. It basically said he didn't write his raps. And so right then and there, it was over. I was like, man, this dude is different. You know what I'm saying? And I knew that he wasn't to be played with.
So that was in the bio way back then. He was already doing that.
Nah. You gotta realize they came to Oakland. They drove to Oakland in a fucking Pathfinder. I think we got to figure out a way to ask all three of them. But it was basically Dame Dash, Kareem Burks, and Jay-Z. They pulled up. It was in Oakland.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And so the point is that they sent me this bio, but before that, actually about a week or so before that, we had this group here in the Bay Area where all the VJs and all basically the DJs, we would get together and kind of listen to music together and find, just network. And bottom line is they brought in the 12-inch single for this song called In My Lifetime by Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
And so bottom line is we was all listening to it, and I'm eating my food, just vibing, and I started listening to that shit, and I was like, oh, fuck, this is dope. Like
right.
I'm with my hip-hop ear, I don't know if he's from Detroit, I don't know if he's from wherever, but I like this shit. This is going to be dope. And then a week later read the bio, and I was like, oh, this dude out of here. And so I immediately was in some ways a fan of his from the work I already kind of did as far as research. But keep it real, he was a laid back, reserved dude. We probably couldn't. Again, it was during that time, man. It was just a time, man, that wasn't cool. Because keep it real, this what made my shit crazy was that an hour before he came on, I just did an interview with Dub C and Mac 10. Mac 10 and Dub C. West Side Connection. Here we
West
come.
Side Connection. Right.
Yeah. So the crazy part is they was in the Bay, I guess, doing a show or something, promoting a show, but they stopped by my show to promote the concert they was doing. And while they was here, they was like, all right, bro, we're going to give you a sneak peek that we working on this album that's coming out in about a month or two. It's called West Side Connection. And we basically taking it to the East Coast and, people in the East Coast that ain't cool with us and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so bottom line is, in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, shit, I'm about to interview this East Coast dude named Jay-Z in an hour. Okay, this is going to be a fun day. And so, it's just, bottom line is, that was just a cold moment for me in hip-hop to reflect on today, that we really was ingrained in kind of where the culture was going. You know what I'm saying? We really was seeing it happen in different ways, and we just was doing our show doing it, man. So, I mean, to be honest, I just went off on the Jay-Z and then, of course, the Goody Mob was a dope show for my life because it was like one of my favorite albums as a fan at the time, Soul Food. Yeah. And so to actually vibe with those dudes and sit with them and, present them to my city, that was a dope moment as well. So it's just a lot of dope moments from that show, man, to be honest.
That's crazy. You mentioned the Goody Mob around that time. Sure, it was around the same time, like 95. I was in L.A. and I used to kick it with a dude. I used to fuck with a dude. And he took me around with him, but he was like a promoter, right? And he used to go to different clubs and promote artists and stuff. And at that time, he had one of his things to promote was Goody Mob when they just dropped that album. And of course, like in L.A. and everywhere else, nobody really knew Goody Mob like that. And at that time, the South wasn't popping. It was Outkast had their shit, and people knew Goody from Outkast, but they didn't really know. But Goody, really got love from everybody out there just on the strength. That, like you said, that album was so dope and powerful that they really got their respect. You know what I mean? I remember him having to promote Goody Mob and going to the clubs, and people just didn't know who they were. But then a few months later, they really kind of knew. So I wanted to just mention that. But really, I want to ask you a two-part question about being you're from the Bay. You interviewed a lot of people. I want to ask you, did you ever get a Tupac interview? And if you did or you didn't, how did you feel even later on, when Pac, of course, blew about a year later when he came home, got with Death Row, but, he's from Oakland, pre-Death Row. But how did you feel even speaking about Jay-Z when you were hearing how Pac was really taking it to Jay and all of this, and Pac really kind of put Jay really on the map by mentioning him like he did, Right, but how did you feel even about all of that right there?
Man, it just was an oxymoron that I was trying to just love hip hop as a fan, but then again I became an instrument within hip hop, so it became political at times.
Right.
Bottom line is Pac just crushed the game. He just pretty much left Oakland before, you know, he went to jail. And then when he got out, he went to L.A. and just made that crazy album. And everybody in the Bay was just basically rooting for him all the way. I mean, when All Eyes on Me dropped, I was still doing my show. It was like the album was being played every day for that whole summer, period. Just the whole summer was All Eyes on Me. Every song you just heard it, and every new muscle car or whatever you just heard All Eyes on Me. And to answer your question, no, I didn't get a Pac interview. Pac, and again, what people don't realize, all that shit happened in like 9 months. From him going to jail, making that album, making 2 or 3 movies, all them award ceremonies, all them trips, all the rah. That shit was in 9 months. So
9 months,
keep it real, I don't even remember during that time. I would have been there. I don't even remember Pac doing an All Eyes on Me concert in Oakland in that 9-month period. Because he was kind of, to be real, he was more LA based during that space in his career.
I don't think he did too many shows. Period. I think they started a tour and it got canceled, and he was just in the studio, bro. I don't think he did too many shows. But yeah, that would have been dope for Oakland, though. I'm sure that would have been crazy.
Nah, that'd have been it. Keep it real. The only thing we got, and that's still a big moment in Oakland. Unfortunate history was the Dog Pound concert at East Mile Mall. That's a very well-known story, you know. But
what
that's
happened
another
there?
Story that.
Hold on, give us some of that, please, man. just a little bit, a snippet, a sample, because I know that's gonna be in the documentary. I didn't know about that.
Watch this. I'm gonna set this shit up like this, bro. Remind you, this was in 1996 that this concert happened, right? So let's just say last year, all right, shout out to Be Legit in the hemp shop over in Vallejo. They had a special event where they had the Dog Pound in the Bay in Vallejo, right? So I blasted up to Vallejo, kicked it with them. You know, we in the back. You know, it is what it is. I'm with Be Legit and Corrupt, and we just talking, smoking, and I just had a high moment. I ain't gonna front. I passed it to him. I was like, bro, do you remember the East Mile Mall concert in Oakland back in the day? Man, that man eyes lit up. He just, man, I remember that shit. That shit was wild. Man, hell shit happened. Cars got turned over. Bitches was getting their ass beat. Motherfuckers was shooting. Like, in other words, I ain't gonna front. It just was one of those very chaotic, frustrating nights of my life, you know. And the point was, as chaotic as it was, as exciting as it was, because it almost showed the potential of, if we stay organized, our city was just it was the centerpiece of the Bay Area, because basically we basically was built to have the biggest concert in the summer with the Dog Pound. They just dropped Death Row was at the top of the game. You know, the Dog Food album was a classic to me. And now I'm a part of this promotion. I'm a part of this promotion machine with my rap show, promoting this shit. So when I got there and saw all this shit happening, it almost transformed my life. You know what I'm saying? Just the way it went. So anyway, bottom line is, it was just one of those things that we thought the Dog Pound concert was a signifying thing, that if Dog Pound do a dope concert, well then who else gonna be coming next? Tupac or Snoop Dogg, or, you know what I'm saying? But literally a couple of months later, you know, Pac was dead. So, you know, it was just one of those unfortunate things that I wish, you know, the Death Row era would have came more to the town. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Rest in peace, Tupac Shakur. Hey, Queen, I'm gonna let Queen get up in here. I know you got some questions for the homie. I don't want to take over. I got so much. This dude here got some history. Go ahead, Queen.
No, that's all good, bro.
Well, I just actually wanted to ask you, I know that you have interviewed a lot of male hip-hop artists. I only heard you mention one female hip-hop artist, which was Lauryn Hill. Are there any other female hip-hop artists that you interviewed?
That's right, Queen. It's just young. Actually, ironically, again, that's one of those shows that I cherish. It's this young lady fresh out of Oakland at the time. Her name was Passion. And I knew that I was interviewing her. I knew her execs, that she was working with. And so they told me a week ahead they was coming to see me and all of that. So bottom line is that week I just decided, you know what, I'm going to make this whole show dedicated to the ladies. And so I just dedicated, all my videos that I played that day to the ladies and interviewed her. So, I always have respect for, dope female MCs. Keep it real, who else have I interviewed? I don't know if it was Sugar T from the Click. Other shows, keep it real. I think we did something with Queen Latifah. What other females? It was this young lady. I don't know if y'all from LA. Back in the day, y'all remember Havoc, Prodigy and Havoc from LA?
Yeah, South Central Cartel.
Yeah,
for sure. They've been on the show
Cartel,
before.
For sure. They had this young lady that they brought out named Shaquila, I think. Her name was Shaquila. I interviewed her. So, we tried to, of course, and shout out to the Conscious Daughters. Shout out Special One. She passed away. They had the song Funky Expedition.
Yes,
so,
I
interviewed the Conscious Daughters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they've been on here as well. Shout out to her. And rest in peace to the other member. Conscious Daughters, my favorite, man. They were so hard, bro. I don't know. It was like, I don't know if the game was ready for them. They was just so hard. It just for some females, they spit like some dudes, like hard. You know what I mean? Shout out to the Conscious Daughters, man. They don't get their due respect too.
They was gamed up.
For real. I don't know if they just didn't. Ladies weren't getting their respect because they weren't like pop. They weren't like on some Lil' Kim shit and all that. They was just straight raw. But they was hard. Go ahead, Queen. I'm sorry.
Your UGL world. Can you tell the audience about that? Because I'm sure a lot of people are not hip to that. The Ultimate Gaming League. The Ultimate Gaming Lounge.
Oh, okay. Well, so what we talking about now is maybe more towards my world today. In 2020, me and my business partner, this dude named Brad Llewellyn, we created the Ultimate Gaming League. And so it's basically a gaming league. We do tournaments. We actually have 2 locations where, you can pull up and go have a drink and, play the games and what have you. And then we also got an online experience where you can, get down on tournaments online with us. And so we realized that, today, it's about the e-gaming world, with the youngsters because they, it is what it is. They be playing that Fortnite. They be playing that, Madden and the NBA 2Ks. They be playing the Street Fighters. And so, we realized that world is going to exist, but now we got to bring our culture to it because, shout out to people like, for example, my man Marcus Peters out here. He plays, for the Baltimore Ravens. Me and him might get down, and then we'll turn around and call, shout out, Neff the Pharaoh or something. I don't know if y'all know about Neff the Pharaoh out that way.
Yeah. But, Come on, man.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Come on now, man.
My bad. That's what I'm talking about. My bad.
Neff hard, too. Neff hard is hard, too.
Home is home.
He hard, too.
Yeah, there you go.
Man.
There you
go.
go.
Neff is hard. I fuck with Neff. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. Them 2 dudes, we'll orchestrate a play, for them to go against each other or something and bring everybody together to talk shit and have fun, in competition. And, that's the UGL way. So, again, it's called, if you want to know more about it, it's www.uglworld.com or check us out on Instagram at uglworld.
Yeah, I seen it on Instagram, and I was like, wow, that's pretty dope, though. Just the vibe. You can just see the vibe in there, the energy. It's like, wow, I would love to be amongst that in that atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Right. I can't forget our other business partner. Shout out to Josh Johnson. He's a former NFL player. He played with Washington Redskins last year. Now he's a starting quarterback with the XFL. He's also a partner with us. He comes from that, Family First with Beast Mode Branch. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, it's just a nice community of brothers that decided to get into that world of gaming, actually, and, even teach youngsters about what's known as coding, because coding is the way you write the programs for whether it's apps or websites or video games. It is what it is. It's a shortage of us in that culture. of people who develop
Right.
the game. So I be telling the youngsters, instead of just always playing the game, why don't you go make a game?
Wow, that's deep.
Are there any MCs now, you know, these new MCs that you would want to interview? And
you know, that's a good question, because to be honest, I think I still had the ability to have a conversation and be engaging to really want to learn about these dudes. I admit, I just haven't been doing it, y'all. I think I got to get back into it. But that's a good question. If it was today, right now, who would I want to interview? Shit, I want to get down with J. Cole or somebody like that, or you know, I want to see what the baby had to say. You know what I'm saying? That's just me, even from that North Carolina thought. I mean, you know, rest in peace. I would have loved to have an interview with Nipsey Hussle.
Nipsey Hussle, yeah.
You know, who else just impact me? I ain't gonna front. I wouldn't mind getting more into the mind of Future. Just different people that I think just impact me in different ways. Because I'm a real hip hop dude, but then I love rap for the feeling it gives me, like the relatable statements that, you know, I ain't keep real. I don't pop pills and sip syrup, but Future say sometimes statements that just resonates with with me as an individual. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's certain ones that,
Yeah, and a lot of these guys, they need to, you know, learn how to pay homage to our OGs, because there was a statement that Offset had made at once upon a time. And that was a pretty ugly statement that he had made about the OGs, about kissing their feet, the new guys, and, you know, so somebody needs to just, like, not go hard on him, but give him some.
Miss Queen, I don't mean to interrupt you, but that was actually a dude, Offset.
Yeah, that's what I said, Offset. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's what she said. Yeah, she said Offset.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. Yeah. Nah, he was tripping. Nah, he definitely was tripping on that, because keep it real, in 10 or 15 years he gonna be old, and then he gonna be looking for his respect from the youngsters, from him being a pioneer. And
it gets 10 or 15 years. They had their run, you know, but if he gets that, but I didn't even know about that too tough. But yeah, that's crazy. But that's a lot of these youngsters. They just think they because they on top of the world, and they get money and they hot for a second, you know, that they just think the world, you know, they don't think about that long term. And a good way to learn is to go back and do your history on a lot of even the biggest rappers, you know what I mean? They had their time. They're not going to always be hot, you know, and the ones that do make it and longevity are the ones who made good connections, had good rapport with people, and just, you know, all around good people. They can have longevity because everybody's not going to be hot. You're going to have your hot, like even the Migos, they pretty much already peaked because they had the biggest platform already. You know when you peak, you kind of peak. There's only so much more you can do, and there's so many more new rappers coming out on that new shit, you know, what they do. And it's a new rapper every day, and then they all sound alike as well. So, you know, definitely need to have some respect and humility, you know. So I don't like when young rappers do that. I didn't even know about that, but I've heard other rappers, young rappers, do that. So, yeah, they definitely need to pay more respect.
That's just that whole new. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real. That's just that whole new generation, because, you know, I don't know exactly all y'all age, but just, you know, I know that y'all remember the '90s so big, so y'all old enough to know the era when, you know, the '70s was hot to our parents, you know, and in the '80s, you know, we had to respect our uncles and neighbors and all of that. And so we was taught to have, even though we was going to do something crazy, sometimes we had a certain order that we knew we was going to have to listen to, you know what I mean? Right. And these youngsters, they ain't got no uncles or pops, or, you know, they just straight up learning from the streets and mama, and you know, it's just.
There's a lot of young mothers. The mothers are so young now, you know, and they're from the streets, and, you know, they with the little pookies and the little, you know, so this is what they know, but. Yeah, a lot of these new artists, they do need to do their homework, because they need to know that Uncle Luke was the one who paved the way, really, for them to have this sort of freedom of speech with their music, you know, so.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of crazy, but but like you were saying that back in our days there was a lot more respect. You knew how far to go and how far not to go.
Right. And if I can briefly, I will shout out the youngsters just to say that it is a few youngsters that keep it real. I had some youngsters that came to visit me today. That I don't get to see them all the time, but they did come visit me today, and they kind of paid homage today. So it is some youngsters that kind of sit with you and exchange game because they got game from where they coming from too. Though they actually got access to more information. Like again, they got the internet, so they've been learning how to work Androids and iPhones fast, and so they got certain things that they are. That they can teach us too, but they just got to respect that it needs to be a bridge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they just have to want it. Like Kendrick Lamar, he wanted it, so he went to the OGs to learn a lot.
Right.
He went to the OGs because I seen an interview when he had with the whole NWA crew, with Dr. Dre and Ice Cube, and he told them that they was his inspiration. They inspired him a lot. And that's why his music is the way it is, the way he just carries himself. And, so I know there's some of them out there that want it and they want to be respectful. And then you got some that just be like, it's all about the bag. Whatever I got to say, if I got to put these lyrics out there that's going to make money, because that's what a lot of the young people want to hear is some of these lyrics and talking about the lean and the popping pills and, the other X-rated stuff that may be out there, that's what they want to hear. So that sells.
Right.
So I understand all of that.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. Let me ask you this: being that you had your did your thing with Soul Beat TV, were you ever, being that you were so hip hop, a fan of hip hop and lived hip hop, were you ever in music? Did you ever do music yourself, rap or whatever?
Nah, man. I mean, for a brief moment, I think I was with a rap crew in high school or some crazy shit. But, that was my thing, man. I knew so many Keep It Real growing up. I knew these groups, for example. I knew the group Hieroglyphics growing up, for example.
Right.
And Hyro, them dudes was real competitive MCs. They wasn't rappers, they were MCs. So, it was just a certain bar that I knew you had to be to compete with this environment that I just kind of just was like, what do I do? What is my angle? I don't produce beats. I don't rap, but I love this shit just like everybody else, or if not more. Like I eat and sleep the culture of hip hop. And so again, I guess you could say I became an instrument within, my trade, which, the DJ has, the wheels of steel. I had the editing booth. You know what I'm saying? I had the two tape decks that I had to learn how to, switch and do dissolves and learn how to edit. And so that was just my way. And then, I had, hundreds and thousands of videos to go through to kind of carve out my own canvas of what, again, a hip hop show would look like. And so, I guess, I just kind of just realized that whether you want to think about, somebody like a Sway, I know y'all know about Sway.
Yeah, definitely. And he's on the
keep it real. Yeah, keep it real from the, the Bay Area side. Sway was definitely a guy that I paid attention to, or, keep it real, my game go back to Fab Five Freddy. And I kind of knew that he was an instrument with Yo MTV Raps when he did the NWA interview.
Yeah,
I remember I was like, you know what?
On the back of the truck, rolling through Compton.
I was blessed. Watch this. I was blessed that I actually met Fab Five Freddy, got his phone number, and I called him, and I was like, man, I remember when that was the day I knew I wanted to do my hip hop show. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So that was a crazy moment in life, by the way, that, I met Fab Five Freddy, the same guy that I was watching when I was probably 12 years old. I got a chance to meet him and call him and all the shit. So, I I just knew my love for that shit was gonna get me stories like this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I never, like I said, I just never became a DJ or a rapper. I just knew I was gonna put together a show and show my interest and love for this culture.
Mhm.
That's real cool.
Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. Also out there, before we continue, we got a lot of callers out there. If you want to speak to the homie, man, press 1. We'll bring you into the show. You can show some love and support. You know, also shout out again to the sponsors, BTP Media Group, 93.2 Tweed, FM Ism, Westside Car Club. Shout out to the homie Jeff, man.
Yep.
Who made it possible.
Shout out to Jeff. He put this shit together,
got
man.
to love to Jeff, man. Yeah, last minute too. So shout out to Jeff, man. He's always working, man, and making shit happen.
I do that for Jeff, man. He hit me up and I was like, let's do it.
Right.
We thank
shout
you
out
for
to
that
Jeff.
too.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So I was gonna ask you that. You just spoke about people like Fab Five, Freddie, the homie Sway. You know, because I was gonna ask you next, who were some of your influences, man, that made you want to do that? Like you said, find your lane. You know, I'm not a rapper, I'm not a producer, I don't do breakdancing, flayed out, all that. So to find your lane. So I was gonna ask you, who were some of your inspirations to help you make you want to do that? And you spoke of a couple. Are there any more, or how was that for you to know that's what you wanted to do, and to make it happen, to go after that dream?
I just asked. I don't know, man. Again, I think it really resonated for the first time. I thought of it, like I said, watching UMTV Raps and watching, Ed Lover and Dr. Dre, and then, going over to BET and with, just that whole vibe of being dope in the culture, being able to say, you know what, this is the fresh clothes that I think is fresh. This is the food that I eat. This is the hip-hop shit I love. This is the rap shit I love. It was I just felt like I think I can hold my own with that, because to this day I got probably 200 to 300 cassette tapes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really had my cassette tapes in one of my drawers, so whenever I get up and, put my new clothes on, I had to put a new tape in and live the culture with me every day. So,
right.
It was just what it was. In the neighborhood, sometimes if we having a party or something, they'll be like, tell Chuck to play the music. You know what I'm saying? Because I just love that shit. But the point was, people like Arsenio Hall impacted me.
Arsenio. Yeah.
Or old school Donnie Simpson. From BET.
Yeah.
It
was
just, you just having a conversation with your favorite artist. I mean, however I felt I could handle it. I watch this. I was so nervous when I did it my first time, but I just knew it was something that I would get used to doing. You know what I mean? And kind of the rest is history. That all those dope people I got a chance to. Some of them I got a chance to meet. Or the fooling with, the Joe Clairs and Big Leds of the world.
Joe Clair, Joe Cleasy.
Yeah,
Wow.
Rap City, man. I remember, keep it real, that was a monumental moment for me. Is basically E40 had the album In a Major Way about to drop, and so BET came to the Bay Area and did a special, interview with him out here. And so I had to be there, man, and let them know that I was the local dude here doing it, and they embraced me, gave me the info, and, that was a big moment for me to, have them acknowledge me, you know what I mean? So, yeah, all the black VJs, man, all that shit influenced me. It didn't necessarily just have to be rap. It was just who knew they shit and who was very comfortable on camera with themselves, with being with these artists.
Right. Yeah, true, very true. Let me ask you this too. Being in those mid-90s when you were on this show, the Bay in itself actually just happened to take off. And I want to say this because speaking on all of these great things about the Bay, the chocolate city it was, and all of this, the Bay was also, and I speak about this to a lot of people who come out here from the Bay, but the Bay was definitely the foundation the grassroots of the independent game. You know what I mean? The Bay really set it off with the independents in the mid-'90s, really too, where so many artists took off, whether it be independent or majorly. You know what I mean? But it all was like grassroots, kind of how Houston has their thing now. But the Bay was the first, you know what I mean, to just really have grassroots and a locally driven thing where everybody got off. It was so many different acts and everybody was taking off. Some were bigger than others, but everybody had success. And there's a lot of independence there early in the Bay. And this is around the time you were doing your show. Can you speak on some of that history right there and the significance that had at the time?
I mean, we was just kind of riding that wave because, keep it real, man, people don't understand. We was breaking records, it seemed like, from, I say about 89, 90 up to, let's say, about 98. Like, the Bay was really representing with quite a few major acts with millions of albums sold. And
right.
When I was doing my thing, that was probably for about 2 or 3 year run from like 94, 95, and 96. And right before that, you know, we had just had, like, the Digital Underground went big. You know, Pac was going big with, like, you know, the album Strapped.
Right.
You know, it was just so many artists. The Delinquents, this dude, JT the Bigger Figure from Frisco, rapping Forte, and, you know, you had, you know, the Click and from the Vallejo, you know. So Oakland had Too Short.
All areas were covered.
You know, so it was just a time where, well, and even, you know, what's dope about the Bay that people don't remember, I don't think, was that we had shit like the Gavin Convention that would happen every year, and then we also had in San Francisco, like 4 major record labels had subdivisions in San Francisco, so it was always a constant presence with record labels that was major in the Bay looking for our talent, you know. So all those companies are gone now. Like Universal had an office out here, you know. Just different companies had representation out here, you know. And so the point is back then and there, you could start off, you know, as an independent, sell, you know, 100,000, and now you got record labels that was willing to negotiate with you as a boss versus, you know, just taking a certain kind of a deal. And so, you know, like you said, the Bay was savvy about the business of the culture to know they worth faster than other people may have thought to be like that. You know what I mean?
Right. Speaking on that, man, to piggyback off of that, fast forward to 2020. What's going on in the Bay today? We just spoke about this earlier, gentrification and all that. But on top of that, you know, things have changed. The Bay isn't what the Bay was. The music scene, everything, you know, is different, you know, everywhere. But what's the landscape now in 2020 in your area over there, you know, in the music? And what do you see coming for the future, or bad, good? Because like I said, gentrification, you know, a lot is going on in Oakland from what I hear. Also, a lot of the things are moving more towards like Frisco, and you know, you got that whole area up there where the whole, really, if you look at it up in the Bay, not far from you, is where everything happens in the world. You know, starts right there in that, what do they call it, the Napa, whatever, where all the YouTube and the biggest companies in Silicon Valley, where all the biggest companies are in the world are based there. You know, and a lot of the businesses are going there. The Golden State Warriors left, and Oakland Raiders are leaving, going to Vegas. So it's a lot of things changing in Oakland, man. What's the landscape in 2020 as you see it?
I mean, you know, where there's pain, there's passion. I'll start with that. That, in other words, you know, in the 20s, when it was the Great Depression, it made some of the biggest millionaires, billionaires at that time. You know what I'm saying? Right. But the point is that, we definitely got some trying times. I think the whole world has got trying times right now. But it's kind of, what kind of hustler are you in these unfortunate times? And as far as the culture, man, I think the culture still lives here. And I think sometimes we go through identity crises sometimes. But even though we be going through identity crises, certain artists just kind of pops up. You know, it is what it is. Here, authentic Bay artists, you know, G-Eazy, He making success. You got you got the E40s and the Too Shorts representing longevity. Here in Oakland we got the up and coming All Black. His name is an artist named All Black, and also his tag team partner. His name is Offset Jim. You got artists like Filthy Rich. He keeping it going. You got this dude Money, Cookie Money. So it's just different artists that's still resonating. You got the dude Freestyle King, Mr. Fab, and you got again Frisco. You got Frisco, this dude named Prezi, and you got San Quins, and so it's like some of the guys that people remember. I think they veterans now, and they keeping kind of up with doing shows, and they still making music. But to be honest, as far as me being a culture keeper, I want to see us really make another run with the impact that we can be when we unify. That's the problem, I think, that the Bay got ununified. It used to be like, we the town, but we a welcoming town. We can, you can come party with us. But for whatever reason, it's just not that organic shit that used to be. That I can pull up in EPA, East Palo Alto, and be an Oakland dude, or I can go to Frisco, or I can go to Vallejo, and Vallejo come out here, and now we all partying and kicking it. All of it is what it is, all the shooting and the territory type shit. I think that just in hip hop as a whole got bad. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so now all the cities like San Francisco and Oakland, they really been cracking down on hip hop concerts and rap concerts due to the violence. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So bottom line is even for Oakland, I hope to see more promoters come to Oakland, because it is what it is. We got more days to fill. Shit, the Warriors is gone. That's 50 to 60 games gone. So, we just got to be innovative. Shout out to Marshawn Lynch. He just started his arena football team. It's called the Oakland Panthers. So that's going to, bring another element of entertainment back to the town. I mean, and I just think, I think more things is going to be to come. I think our city is innovative. We may not, have, all three professional teams, but through conferences or just
we
certain
got the A's, though, the Oakland A's still, right?
Yeah, we still got the A's. No doubt.
Okay.
Shout out to the A's. I rock with the A's, and I work with the organization on different situations. But we still got the A's for sure. It's just it is what it is. It's been taking us a minute to realize the Raiders is gone. And the Warriors.
I'm a Raiders fan too, bro. I'm hurt too. I'm a Raiders fan as well, bro. So I'm hurt too.
You gonna be going to LA?
I was just up in Vegas. I was just in Vegas like a few months ago for my birthday, right? And it was crazy because I got to see the stadium, how it was coming along, and my hotel was right next to the stadium, so it was crazy. And I see all the stuff, they got the Raiders everywhere. It's just really unbelievable, man. But I'm gonna still be a fan, but it's just like hard to believe. I just can't believe the Oakland couldn't make it. I was mad when they left LA, but they're originally from Oakland, but I was just mad they couldn't make that happen, man, because the Raiders got the diehardest fans, especially in Oakland, man. They go hard when the Raiders was doing real bad. They've been bad for a minute, but they got the best fans, man, diehard. So I'm sure they'll be in Vegas as well. But it's just crazy to see,
Man, I ain't gonna front. It's the end of an era, because part of, again, I guess you could say another chapter in my life when I wasn't just doing a TV show. I had to keep hustling. Bottom line is I worked for like 10 or 15 years. I worked with Fox Sports and CBS with basically setting up broadcasting for the Raider games and the 49er games. Wow. And that was just like keep it real, my regular job type shit. And that's just a whole nother bag of memories. But the long story short of it is, what I'm saying is that impacted all of us economically. You know what I'm saying? It was ushers and concession people that have been working there for 20 years that they lost their family income.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. Don't just
That's crazy.
pack players.
I just can't believe. they couldn't make that. I was just mad they couldn't even get a fucking stadium. I used to hate to see the Raiders playing in the baseball. Like, I just be like, man, come on, man, please, man. So it was just a lot with that. And I guess
it's big boss business. It is what it is.
Right,
we even though we kind of have an influence, we are a very fucking small city, and Vegas saw the business in the Raider brand and gave Davis an offer he couldn't refuse.
Yeah, that's gonna be big though. I can't front. I understand from a business aspect. And that's really sports period. You can't be mad at sports period. Your favorite teams, players, flip flop, hop to different. It's just the way it is these days. It's more about business than it is the actual sport or the culture or whatever it is. So it is what it is. It's hard to get caught up in that anymore because it's just a whole different game. It's all business driven. So it is what it is. I want to ask you too, man. You spoke about maybe putting out a documentary over the years that you put in with the television show. You ever thought about maybe doing a reboot of the show or bringing it back, or can we expect anything like that?
Oh man, sometimes the game pull you back in, man. It's a unique process, man, because keep it real, I got used to, I guess, calling myself going back into being in the cut, and I guess I'm what's called an introvert extrovert, meaning just like how you hear me now, I'm on because this is what I am, but really I'm more of a laid back, in the cut kind of an individual, and sometimes I like just being able to go up in the store and nobody don't know who the hell I am, to be honest. Versus
I feel you.
What it is versus
during
that time period, to be honest and humbly speaking and all the shit, I couldn't really necessarily go nowhere without quote unquote being recognized in Oakland. It's a small city, and now I'm on television 2 hours a week, like during the time when it is what it is. It wasn't no Instagram, it wasn't no Facebook, it wasn't YouTube. It was every 2 weeks you might get a chance to watch some rap videos, and I just so happen to be the dude that give them to you. And so people, to this day, it is what it is, man. I ain't even tripping, but somebody yesterday was telling me how they was watching my show. You know what I'm saying? So it's just something that people still remember, and I just at some point got to the point I embraced it, but other times I ain't really doing interviews every day no more, so I'm just a regular dude, and people just kind of remind me like, nah, you ain't regular, dude. Like you gotta preserve a legacy and shit, and so I said the first thing I can do with y'all is develop this series. I do have still a passion for storytelling. I think that even beyond my, lightning in the bottle moment on Soul Beat, I really think that the whole Soul Beat story needs to be told because it's 25 years versus me with 3 years.
Definitely.
So, out of respect to that brand, I would maybe, jump started with starting off with my content because it's based in hip hop, but I think, it'll resonate and then it'll allow me a lane to go more in depth. So to answer your question, I just want to get this done. If the culture demands me to, so to speak, do a show, I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not running from it. It's more of just a wave of the times to say, why not? It's almost like, why not?
Right.
Right,
exactly. That's great, homie. I just wanted, because I think that's definitely needed, the documentary or the series, whatever you're doing, because even me, I was going back, and there's a lot of, different clips and things out there, and just going back and seeing the history and the things, what that show meant, I'm sure to the Bay, but just being able to see it from an outsider, it looked like it really had a real impact. It reminded me of BET. You know what I mean? But that was something local, so it was just like, I'm sure that was really big. So that story needs to be told, So I'm glad you can do that. That's a beautiful thing right there. I want to ask you a couple more things.
Early.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, the only thing I was going to add was to your point that shit. I run into Russell Simmons and mention Chuck Johnson, Soul B. Oh yeah, I know Chuck. Yeah, he's old as dirt. What about him? Like, you know, like I run into whoever, like Steve Stout. He know what's up. I mean, I just ran into Chuck D about a month ago. It's this well-known, journalist, hip-hop journalist. His name is Davey D.
Davey D,
and,
the OG.
Yeah, Davey D. We just did like a special ceremony to give him his flowers while he's alive. They just did a special ceremony for him with the Bay Area Black Journalists Association, something to that degree, and it just brought everybody out. Sway was there. This dude Chewy Gomez from Cameo to this lady named Renelle. She's a well-known, broadcaster off of Cameo. So the bottom line is that it gave us an opportunity to give us our flowers at this particular time. And so,
right,
like I said, man, it's just a dope thing to know that you live this kind of a culture. And at the end of the day, I just realized that, again, too many people, not just Bay Area, has resonated with this story. Like, I'm giving you crazy stories right now, bro, because I ran into Andre 3000 in such a crazy way, and he had a Soul B story. You know what I mean? Like, it's just different moments that reminded me in life, in this 20-year run of not being on Soul B, how much it matters.
Right.
It's legendary.
I want to give a shout-out to Squareopolis. He was on the show. Jeff just mentioned that. He was on the show a week ago, and he was there, too. I know that's your guy.
Wednesday.
But a lot of just on Wednesday. A couple of days. I said last week. Shit, we do so much here. I lose track of time, but that was just 2 days ago. But shout out to Squareopolis. And he has history as well. I know that's your guy, too, man. I just want to show him some love as well.
Hell yeah,
real
that's my
genuine,
guy.
Humble, too. Yeah, genuine and humble.
He's really that for real. But he didn't have hella hip hop stories too.
Modest, or is it just you holding back with me? He was just so cool and laid back. I said, "Nigga, is you high? What's going on?" He said, "Nah, this just is me. This me, man." But I fuck with the Mary too. But he was just too cool, man. He was just too, the whole time he's just like, yeah, So you gotta have patience with Square, man. Shout out to Square, man. That's my guy.
It's all good.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Queen, you have anything else for the homie?
I heard you mention your chronic. What is it? Chronic cassette tapes. What is that? Is it actually an actual cassette tape called Chronics or Chronicles?
No. So the angle I was thinking about for my, my podcast is called the Cassette Tape Chronicles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. TDK.
Check that out.
Maxwell TDK.
Yeah. What? I mean, the cassette tape is very unique to that era. You know what I'm saying? Again, me and my partner, I had him on my, for example, I had Be Legit on my podcast. I did maybe two podcasts with that show. But the point is one time I had my other colleague up on it, and I basically brought out my bag of tapes, and I basically just pulled a tape out of my bag and just basically have him tell me what he think about that album or what is his memory from that album. You know what I mean? So it's just different ways that I want to just be able to, I guess, be in my old bag of explaining what we were then, so that now it's a bridge to build us up to where we can go today. You know what I'm saying? And beyond. You know what I mean? So that's what the Cassette Tape Chronicles is about.
Oh, okay.
That's crazy you said that, because cassettes, I mean, that was we remember even Queen was Square the other day. We were talking about 33 inches and 12 inches.
And 45.
How, yeah, 45. That's what I meant. I said the 33. We talked about that, but the 45, the small vinyls, and now you're talking about cassettes. So many different eras in hip-hop and music alone that are no longer with us, even the 12 inches. Now the CDs are obsolete as well. It's just like so crazy that, we were able to witness so many different eras to where now it's just totally streaming, and you don't see anything, but a phone or some type of digital device. And which is cool though. What I do appreciate about the digital age is just like you could just get the music. You know, you ain't got to worry about your CDs fucking scratched. You know, because I got a cold CDs collection. A lot of them, some of them scratched or whatever. You know, you get, but it's nothing like that era with the cassettes or CDs where you could open up the, you know, thing, look at the cover and the back and the credit and all of that. You just can't get that
exactly.
experience.
Or watch this. What about? Experience. Yeah, I was gonna say, what about when your computer get corrupted? Or what about when your cloud space get corrupted? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's something about that physical, man.
Yeah. I wouldn't brought me
always go back.
I wouldn't brought me a little small CD player. I sure did because one of our other friends, Tweed Cadillac, he has a show and he has a lot of CDs out, and he sent me a few, and that prompted me to go buy me a CD player. And I'm glad that I did make that investment because I had a lot.
More quick.
Huh?
I say you didn't have a CD player.
No, I didn't. I just had, because I had a little portable one that you like a little Walkman one before I moved out here, but I didn't bring that with me, so I had to invest in a CD player that sit on top of your desk. So I went and bought me a CD player. But it has the Bluetooth now. The old ones didn't have the Bluetooth capability, but this one does. But just to have a CD player, I'm glad that I did invest because, like you were saying, your space, you lose space, and they tell you, well, you can get some more iCloud space for 99 cents a month. What?
Right.
So going back to the old school.
I ain't mad at the new culture. It's just it's just like with anything, man. Don't be like Rome and just build on top of what was already there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like preserve what is there and grow around it. You know what I'm saying? Don't just try to erase. It is what it is. Motherfuckers will try to erase you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or they won't even, like, to be honest, how y'all listening to me talk and I can go and go and go. Because I do know I got a wealth of information, but it's not one of those things I feel like I gotta tell you. I gotta go on live every day and tell somebody what I know. It's like if somebody asks me about it or if somebody do enough of an investigation and realize I did this, then hell yeah, I open up the vault. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not exactly that self-serving. You can go on my Instagram. I'm on Instagram at Chuckster115, and you won't barely see me there, but dropping some information, or I might show you that I'm at a concert or something, but it's just I'm not every day like camera hungry. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I got you. I feel you. Same way. I want to ask you this, man, in closing, man. What do you want to lead? We talked about a lot of stuff, and you got some things coming up. I want to first ask you when you think we can expect some of the work you're working on with the documentary or the material. And also, I want to ask you, what do you want to leave the people with? Something that we didn't talk about that you wanted to get out, or just something you want to leave the people with that they could take from this interview, man, to remember you by and want to, and do the homework on you and just be tapped in with you.
That's what's up, man. Well, first of all, I want to thank y'all for bringing me on your show. I think, just having this conversation with y'all was dope. I don't even feel like it was an interview. I felt like it was just a dope conversation.
Right. Thank you.
At the end of the day, no, it's all good. At the end of the day, man, I appreciate the mark that I have made on people with some of my contributions to the culture. And, at the end of the day, man, I'm one of those dudes that I just want to see this culture keep growing versus certain directions going backwards. And if showing these youngsters different stories that deals with, conduct and morals and ethics and shit like that, and to see if some of that can penetrate, I feel like, I done did once again another contribution, so to speak, to hip hop. And that's just what I want to do. I mean, and then it is what it is. The culture of the gaming is just kind of what it was. Back in the day, man, I know, we're gonna be leaving soon, but back in the day, we right after my TV show or even before my TV show, we would, have fun gambling, having fun on the games like Double Dribble and Tecmo Bowl.
Double Dribble.
That's the
wow.
Yeah. Super Nintendo
Double Dribble
days.
was the hardest game for back then. They got the ones now, but that was the hardest shit when that came out. Even if you look at it, it wasn't really all that, but just the graphics. Yeah, Double Dribble was hard, bro. Shout out to Double Dribble. Go ahead. Yeah, you brought back memories, man.
Yeah, I'll push your wig back with that one. But the point is that race up to now, even, being that young dude playing the games then, I realized today as a businessman that, that culture is very dominant right now. And we just going to continue to extend our branches in that world and, turn around and do some dope shit like try to, teach the game to these youngsters in different ways, So that's all I'm about, man. Appreciate this. Again, as far as the documentary, for real, I just locked down a play where we're going to do this. We're going to do a super trailer. I'm going to give y'all that. We're going to do the super trailer. And in the next couple of weeks or if not a month, we should have a super trailer that, gets the ball rolling with us promoting this shit. And hopefully maybe I'll, come back on this show or, we'll stay in contact and, keep building. But, like I said, man, I just hope everybody, being safe in these days and times, coronavirus, COVID-19 is straight up real. Stay in the house as much as you can, practice social distance, all that shit, because, it's real times. But it is what it is. I'm just blessed and fortunate that right now the two things that I'm invested in or interested in is things that's kind of something to, give us some entertainment, which is, again, gaming. Dudes at home right now playing Madden more than ever, I'm sure. And then, this content of, explaining this legacy of things like the rap show and Soul Beat, is a content that I think the culture would embrace right now. So, it's just full steam ahead. It's just full steam ahead with those two things. The last thing I think I'll talk about is the gentrification thing. To me, I'm really into that. I want black folks to keep grandma and granddaddy's house. I want us to learn to figure out ways to keep buying and selling to us. You know what I'm saying? Because we losing ownership real fast in this country. And that's it, man.
Unity back. Get some unity back.
Yeah, for sure, because we really going to need it now. So, man, like I said, I appreciate you, Queen. I appreciate you, G-Lew. And, whenever we need to do it again, we can do it.
Thank you.
For sure. Thank you,
and
man.
I wanted to say
Go ahead,
to
Queen.
you, anything that you have going on and you wanted to announce, I'll be more than happy to announce it on our show. You can just send me a DM through Instagram. You have my number. You can text it to me, or you can send it to me through Facebook. We follow each other on both platforms. My IG is Queen Jean of the G-Lew Show, so I'm following you there. And then Facebook, I'm Jean V. Berkeley. So anything that you have going on in the future and you want it out there, because we have followers all across the world, just let me know and I'll announce it. And blessings to your prosperity.
That's what's up. And if I can, I want to leave y'all with a hip-hop moment because I think this is what this shit is about. Can I ask y'all a question before I go?
Yes, sir.
All right, ladies first, real fast, without thinking. What is your favorite two hip-hop albums from the 90s?
From the 90s?
Yeah, two. G-Lew, you got a few seconds to think. You next. Just throw two out. Just the two that come out your head.
Look, we had this conversation earlier, Chuck.
Yeah, she a little bit. I'm
a little bit behind. I told you it's like rappers alike for me and whoopty whoop. Remember the conversation?
Yeah, okay, I remember that one. I got you. What about you? All right, with G-Lew, I'm gonna slide it on over to you. Give me two of them top of your head.
Thank you for the pass.
What's the first two? It's all good.
I mean, come on, the 90s, as you know. Come on, man. The 90s was so hard, bro. It's like, the 80s was 90s. Man, bro, come on, man. Okay, I'll say.
Was Tupac in the 90s? No.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll say
man.
all eyes on me. I don't have to say
all
all
eyes.
eyes. Shit, man. I'll say the Chronic.
Yeah. The Chronic.
But I mean, I'm just in the mode because it's many. Come on, man. I could go all. I
know you go deep, but I just wanted to hear from the top of your head which one rocked your fucking mind when it dropped, and them two rocked your mind. And I understand that. I get that.
Yeah.
All good, y'all.
Yeah, I can say Tupac. You know, I did know about Tupac and Biggie. So you know, those two and NWA, anything by Eazy. So I know a few, but you know, you just I can't come off the top of my head like that. Now, if you ask me something about the 60s and 70s, you know, I could tell you. Oh, okay. See, Chuck, you got me.
That's what's up, man. Again, I just wanted to have a little hip hop fun with y'all, man. Appreciate it. Follow me at GL World or follow me at Chuckster115, man. Chuckster115, man. And
right.
You know, much love.
Great conversation, like you said. Great conversation.
That's what's
up.
Yeah,
that was dope, man. I really appreciate it, bro. Much love. Oh, before you go too, let the people know where they can get at you at, follow you, social media sites, and they can get at you for business, emails, or whatever else you need to. You know, the people need to know to contact you.
Again, you know, for the listeners who don't know the history of Sobe, Google it. If you want to learn more about me, I'm at Chuckster115 on Instagram. And then if you're in the world right now dealing with this gaming culture, I'm at uglworld.com or at uglworld Instagram.
Okay.
Would you like a drop, G-Lew?
Oh, yeah. Please, thank you, Queen. Could you give us a drop before you leave, man, so we can have you in the archives, bro?
It's all good. You ready?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. Yo, what's up? This is Chuck Johnson. I'm here with Queen and G-Lew on the G-Lew Show.
That part. Thank you, sir, once again. The legendary Chucky Johnson, Charles Johnson. What do you want him to call you, bro? I don't know which one.
Nah, man. You know, I'm 45 now, man. So I'm just Chuck Johnson, or you know, people know me as Charles Johnson, man. You know, the Chuckster, man. I mean, you know, I'm just I'm a multifaceted dude, man. But like I said, I rep what I came from, and my roots, you know, it was with Soul Beat, no doubt.
That part.
Soul Beat. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm following Soul Beat too. I got Soul Beat. I have all your platforms I'm following now. That's cool.
It's good, man. Appreciate y'all, and we'll be talking soon.
For sure.
Hey, peace and love.
Much love. Peace and love, bro.
Now. Peace.
Thank you, man. The legendary Charles Johnson on the G-Lew Show, Flashback Fridays, another classic. Shout out to, once again, our sponsors, BTP Media Group, Jeff Kwan, who made it happen. Shout out to the Tweed, 93.Tweed FM Ism every Thursday night. Last night, man, that show was crazy last night. I'm feeling with Ilya Johnson, a cold-blooded B. Oh, my God, that's crazy. That was like one of the best he had in a long time. That shit was just crazy. It just like, wow. Learned a lot, had a lot of laughs, and it was just, she is really a cold-blooded B, like she say. I don't even want to say it, but she is really, man, she is something else, you know. Shout out to her,
she don't
man.
mind, she don't mind you, the memoirs of a cold-blooded bitch. She don't mind because it is what it is, and she let that be known last night, you know.
Right.
You call it spades black, and spades is black. You know, I'm a cold-blooded bitch. That's what it is. Yeah. You know, I'm going to sniff you from the bottom to the top, and if you stink, I'm going to tell you stink. Get your, you know.
She said, yeah. Oh, my God. That shit was crazy. Oh, my
fruit
God.
Fruit roll-ups, cotton candy,
wow,
Jolly Ranchers.
Tweed
Take your choice.
Tweed, man. Fruit roll-up. Tweed. I had no idea, bro. I had no idea.
Tweed didn't either. Tweed didn't either.
I was learning some shit last night, and the Jolly Ranchers, and so many, man. It was just like, wow. It was crazy. I had a great time. Shout out to the Tweed, 93.Tweed FM Ism. Go back to that archive and check that out on Blog Talk Radio, man. You won't be disappointed, man. Shout out to the Tweed again. Shout out to Jeff. Shout out to Jane out there who tuned in with us. Shout out to Mama Boo. Shout out to Jackie Ray Phillips, The Critique Show. Shout out to my bro Snow Brizzle, Westside Car Club, Skip Towing, and Transport. Shout out to the lovely Miss Dee Dee Harrison as well, and OG Music. And shout out to my boys over there, Kev Mac Videos, KMV. You dig? I also want to let you guys know, after this show, we're going to be going live, on the new YouTube channel. We got it popping over there. I found out some shit, learned some new stuff, and it's going to be good. I got the music right now, Queen. Everything is good now. I had to do some investigating, and I got everything situated. So, after this, we're going to go live. We're going to try to, expand our brand. We're going viral on YouTube and all that. So check us out at the G-Lew Show on YouTube. This show here will be there as well. The show we just did with Square is up, on all past episodes, so check us out there. We're going live after this show. And I seem to be having some technical difficulties over here. Well, I can't pull up any music. So I don't know. We may be leaving now. We may be going off the air because I can't pull up anything. Queen, I'm having some difficulties over here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. We still got like 20 minutes. I don't know what the business is over here. Trying to figure it out, but I seem to be stuck. So,
yeah, you might want to get off the air so you can get unstuck. We have our podcast tomorrow with Sylvia Angels at 7 Pacific and 10 Eastern. So join our podcast tomorrow with Cynthia Nunn of that Compton Love.
This is going to be a good one right here because Cynthia don't even do too many interviews, but she has a lot of history as well. The OG from Compton, Luthers Park area, and we're going to get a lot of history, and then not only that, get some things what she has going, because she's doing a lot in the community today. They had another giveaway today as well, so Cynthia's doing a whole lot.
Big boxes, so and happy birthday to Melly Mel.
Melly Mel, the professor. That's my Neil. That's my NIGGA right there. That's my guy. Shout out to Melly Mel from Compton, Santana Block. What up, Melly? Happy birthday.
His birthday. Yeah. And happy birthday to my daughter as well today.
Okay, yeah. Happy birthday to baby girl. Happy birthday. They want to interview Queen over
40
there.
Years old. Who?
Mel want to interview you, Queen. Queen going to be going big soon, so don't go Hollywood on me. But they're trying to get with the Queen, so shout out to Melly Mel, too. But, again, shout out to your daughter. Happy birthday. Happy birthday from the G-Lew Show. Yes, all love.
Yeah, she listens to the show every time it's up on YouTube. She go back and listen to it. She's like, I heard you. Okay, well, that's good. If you listen, you hear me then, right?
Right.
But she's a subscriber, and she be listening to the show, so she'll hear the shout-out. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. Okay, well, like I said,
you better go ahead and get your music together.
Yeah, I got to go ahead and just get it because we don't have anything going on. I'm stuck over here. I know you guys can't see it, but I'm over here stuck in the Matrix, man. But good thing is we got the interview off. Everything went good. Shout out to our guest again, the homie Charles Johnson, the Chuckster. Follow him on Instagram and all that as well. Shout out to the Queen Jean. Follow her on Instagram, Queen Jean of the G-Lew Show. Jean V. Berkeley on Facebook. Follow me, the G-Lew Show on all platforms. Get the music, the podcast. Just Google G-Lew or the G-Lew Show and everything will come up. We thank you all again for your support. Loyal listeners, we'll be back next Friday, Flashback Fridays with a new guest. Wednesday, we got the homie Mr. Black coming up here. Sunday, you already know, OG Sunday is the #1 show on the planet. Your access is granted. We love y'all. Check us out after hours. Go to my YouTube page after you leave here. We're going to be on there in about 30 minutes. Excuse me. We're going to go live. Queen Jean going to be there, Snow, and we're going to have some more special guests. We're going to be live, you know what I mean? So join us there shortly. We're out of here. Queen Jean, thank you. We got to go because this shit is,
all right.
I don't know. All right, so we love y'all. Peace and love. The G-Lew Show, Flashback Fridays.
Good night.